Hi, my name is Jessica Serrano and I practice family law here at the firm, and I wanted to discuss a few important topics with you to make sure you understand important issues that come into family law. One issue is paternity. When a child is born out of wedlock, meaning if a child is born when the parents are not married, the father has no legal rights to that child because you're not married. So it's really important that if you have a child and you're not married, and you subsequently or thereafter break up with the mother of your child, or you're no longer together, that you seek legal help and file a petition for paternity. The petition for paternity is what it does. It establishes you as the legal father. It's not saying that you're not the biological father or you're not the dad of the child, but under Florida law, you're not the legal father. And when you're not the legal father, you have no rights. Meaning you have no rights to see the child. You have no rights to take the child on vacation. The mother could take the child and move to New York or Cuba, and you have no right to say that they can't go. So it's extremely important that you seek legal advice very early on in your child's birth to ensure that you have an order from a Florida court that provides you that legal right to your child, and that way you have full access to your child. It's very important to obtain an attorney to do that, to ensure that you follow all the necessary steps and can have that paternity adjudicated. And in Florida, meaning that's an order issued by the court that states you are the legal father and that you have rights to that child. Once that's done, you will also be able to establish what is called time sharing in Florida. Time sharing is the word we use for visitation, or how some people call custody, or it's essentially the time that mom gets to spend with the child and time that dad gets to spend with the child. And it doesn't bring chaos to the child because then everybody can get together. We have a schedule and everybody knows what days they're with the child and what days they're with the mom, what days they're with the dad, who's gonna have Christmas, who's gonna have Thanksgiving. These are all things that come up that people may not think about that are very important as the child grows up. Florida law is very equal on time sharing. And when I say equal, I mean Florida law favors that mom and dad have equal time with the child. That just as much time that the child spends with mom, the child should spend with dad. There are certain instances where there are extreme situations where that's not possible. And again, it's very important to hire an attorney if you have one of those situations to make sure that those situations or certain instances or occurrence that have occurred that may affect your child is properly presented to the court for the best interest of your child. Because at the end of the day, the court is always going to look at what is in the best interest of the child and make sure that the best interest of the child is properly decided upon. With the time sharing, it moves into child support. So a lot of people think if it's equal, mom has 50% and dad has 50%, then nobody pays child support. That's not accurate. So child support is based on the parent's individual income, your gross income, okay? So it's not what that amount is at the end of the day that gets deposited into your checking account. It is the gross amount before all your taxes are deducted. That's what is based on in child support. What's also used is the amount of overnights each parent has with a child. And that's how time sharing is intertwined with child support. Once you have the gross income and the amount of overnights each parent has, those numbers are placed into a formula called the Florida Child Support Guidelines. And that formula takes into account all of those numbers. It also takes into account any aftercare or summer camp that is paid. And it also takes into account any health insurance for the child that is paid. Then that will provide a number. So even if mom and dad have equal time sharing, but the incomes are substantially different, one parent will still be paying child support or could possibly still be paying child support. So just because there's 50-50, as people like to say, or equal visitation and time sharing, does not negate the responsibility for child support. In calculating child support, it's very important to hire an attorney to make sure that that calculation is accurate.